Welcome back to Wake Up West Texas. Hey, we are still live out here right behind the San Angelo Museum of Fine Arts. You can see they're having a 9/11 memorial starting at 9 a.m. today. And joining me now to talk about his experience is the current San Angelo Fire Department Chief Brian Dunn. Good morning, my good sir.
Good morning, Malik.
I am so glad to have you on the show because we were talking a little bit before the break, and turns out you were actually the chief during 9/11. Tell me about that experience and what was going through your head.
Well, I was during my first year as fire chief for the city of San Angelo in 2001, and I'd come to work. I was here early that morning, and I'd walked into the kitchen to get me some tea, and the guys were sitting there looking at the TV, and it said there was a small plane that had flown into one of the World Trade Center towers, and we were sitting there watching it for a little bit, and then the second plane hit. And when it hit and came out, I go, that wasn't a small plane. And we started watching and see what was going on. And then all the other events of the day started unfolding. And then we started having meetings at the city. You know, they pulled all the directors in because they knew we were under attack. Nobody knew who or where or why, though. So it was a pretty busy day trying to see what was happening.
I believe it. And as the chief, of course, you had to say something to your team. What words did you have to tell them about that?
We were just kind of sitting and watching. You know, we weren't directly affected. You know, and we're wanting to see what was happening in the Northeast and in Washington, and of course in the ensuing days and stuff. Or send people up there to help them. Of course, they were doing a coordinated recovery effort up there, so they were it got to the point they were begging people, please stay unless we call for you, because you have to house and feed and provide stuff for everybody coming in there, so it can become quite a large thing to manage.
And of course, for me, when I think of this actual memorial, I also think of firefighters. What does it mean to you as a firefighter? You know that not only, of course, are we memorializing the victims here, but as well as the firefighters as well, because first responders clearly today, yesterday, and always will be so important.
Well, you know, you sit there and you watch the events unfold on TV, and you saw the thousands of firefighters on scene and first responders on scene there at the World Trade Center, and you saw those guys. They didn't hesitate. They were going into that building, and most of them probably knew that they may not come out because it was on fire and what was happening there, and they were going in there to get those people, and still nearly 3,000 people died, but they got tens of thousands of people out of that building.
Which I think is so important because, you know, as first responders, you all never know the situation sometimes that you're going into, but you have a job to do, and those men and women who did it did such a phenomenal job. This event, again, is happening today at 9 a.m. Are we speaking today?
I am not speaking.
You're not speaking. You're just going to be here. I love that for sure. Well, hey, again, the event is happening at 9 a.m. today. Chief Brian Dunn, thank you so much for meeting with me early this morning. Very, very nice attire. I love that for sure. Well, hey, we're live out here. Again, the event starts at 9 a.m. Go to the San Angelo Museum of Fine Arts. Right behind it, that's where you will find this event. It starts in just a couple of minutes. For more details on the event, make sure you watch the rundown tonight at 6 p.m. We'll have a story about that. Chief Brian Dunn, once again, thank you so much. Of course, we're live out here. We'll be right back after this break.